This city's involvement in the silk trade made it the namesake of a kind of woven fabric where the pattern can be seen from both sides. Somehow, an ancient material named for this city includes carbon nanotubes that make it super strong. In this city, 8 Roman columns were used in the dome of the treasury in a great mosque decorated with Byzantine mosaics. This city became a capital under Muawiyah. Many swords with wavy surfaces were made from this city's namesake steel. After 750, the capital was moved from this city to Kufa and then to Baghdad under the Abbasids. For 10 points, name this capital of both the Umayyad Caliphate and modern Syria. And the answer is Damascus. Criticism of this man was subjected to a florally named taboo, but that didn't stop the son from writing "Let the Bastard Rot in Hell" when he died in 1989. One of this ruler's prime ministers was assassinated by the ultra-right-wing League of Blood in the May 15th incident. This ruler established several puppet states after the Mukden incident. After admitting that he wasn't a god, this man was kept in power by Douglas MacArthur. This ruler oversaw an economic miracle led by companies like Sony and Honda after the execution of his prime minister Hideki Tojo. For 10 points, name this World War II era emperor of Japan. And the answer is Hirohito. This man recently canceled peace negotiations with a coalition in this country, abbreviated CPP-NDA-NDF. This man refused to fire his country's police chief after Korean businessman Ji Ik-ju was kidnapped and murdered by his country's police. This man was succeeded by his daughter in 2010 after being mayor of Davao City for 22 years. At a 2016 rally, this man complained that he didn't get the chance to be first in line to rape an Australian missionary. This man, who told Barack Obama to go to hell, has offered medals to people who shoot alleged drug dealers. For 10 points, name the current president of the Philippines. And the answer is Rodrigo Duterte. An interview by Herbert Matthews helped this man gain fame, and he was the target of Operation Verano. Troops from this man's nation fought against South Africa in the Battle of Cuito Cunavale while helping the MPLA in Angola. This leader waged a campaign from the Sierra Maestra Mountains, and he read a 4-hour speech in court after leading an attack on the Moncada barracks. During this man's rule, U-2 pilot Richard Heiser found a military base at San Cristobal. This man, who gave the "History Will Absolve Me" speech, caused a crisis by allowing the USSR to deploy ballistic missiles in his country. For 10 points, name this longtime president of Cuba. And the answer is Fidel Castro. During this event, Clemens von Kettler was murdered, and a speech was made claiming that a certain group would never again dare to look cross-eyed at a German. A women's brigade, known as the Red Lanterns, formed during this event, which began a year after the 100 Days Reform and included a siege of the legation quarter. The open door policy was formulated in response to this event, which was ended by the Eight-Nation Alliance and sparked by anger toward the unequal treaties. It was supported by Empress Dowager Cixi, and it lasted from 1899 to 1901. For 10 points, name this Chinese anti-foreigner revolt led by the Righteous and Harmonious Fists. And the answer is Boxer Rebellion. A war in this country was where the leader of a coup attempt in the Seychelles, Mike Hoare, first gained prominence. Many nationalist leaders in this modern country were part of the Evoulier middle class. An Adam Hochschild book titled For a King's Ghost documents crimes in this country's colonial predecessor, which was also the subject of the Casement Report. In 1960, This country's first prime minister, Patrice Lumumba, was shot in its breakaway region of Katanga. In 1997, this country changed its name after Laurent Kabila ousted dictator Mobutu Sese Seko. Belgium once colonized, for 10 points, what large Central African country with capital Kinshasa? And the answer is Democratic Republic of the Congo. This dynasty established the standard form of the 3 departments and 6 ministries system, and it promulgated the equal field system of farming. Its first emperor built the new capital Daxing on the site of Chang'an, and its second emperor rebuilt Luoyang. This dynasty's government inspired the Taika reforms. This dynasty collapsed following a failed war with the Goguryeo. This dynasty began the construction of the Grand Canal. It took power under Wen Di in 581, unifying China for the first time in nearly 400 years after the fall of the Han Dynasty. For 10 points, name this 3-emperor dynasty that was succeeded by the Tang. And the answer is Sui. A kingdom in the north of this modern country conquered Du Nuwas and his Jewish Himyarite kingdom. This country erected the tallest stela in the world, including an obelisk that was returned to this country in 2005. 13 churches were built by excavating directly into ground rock in this country's city of Lalibela. After Georgia and Armenia, a kingdom in this modern country was the 3rd state to convert to Christianity. This country defeated Italy's colonization attempt at the Battle of Adowa, and its northern part was once ruled by Axum. For 10 points, name this country in the Horn of Africa once ruled by the Rastafarian Messiah, Haile Selassie. And the answer is Ethiopia. This event was analyzed in terms taken from Thomas Malthus in Jared Diamond's book Collapse, and it was documented firsthand by a Canadian commander in the book Shake Hands with the Devil. Interventions in this event included the French Operation Turquoise and the failed expedition UNAMIR. Widespread rape during this event led to a huge spike in HIV infections. It began with the order cut down the tall trees after President Juvenal Habyarimana's plane was shot down. For 10 points, name this 1994 event in which the Interahamwe, a group of Hutus, killed over 70% of the Tutsis in a small African country. And the answer is Rwandan Genocide. This event was partly prompted by a political party's poor showing in regions like the Northwest Frontier Province in a 1937 election. In the lead-up to this event, mobs gathered at the Okterlony Monument on Direct Action Day. A.K. Fazlul Hook called for this action in a 1940 resolution. This event used the Radcliffe Line commissioned by Lord Mountbatten. A partial failure of this event was fixed by the Line of Control. This event displaced or killed nearly 20 million people, making it the cause of the biggest mass migration on record. It led to the creation of West Bengal, but didn't allocate Kashmir. For 10 points, name this 1947 event that created Pakistan. And the answer is Partition of India.